In Pinter's birthday party, Stanley is given a birthday present. What is it? So we have to tell the name of the present that was given to Stanley. And the options are A toy, B a piano, C a drum, and D a violin. We all know that this drama, The Birthday Party, was written by Harold Pinter and published in 1957. In this play, P.T., Meg, Stanley, Goldberg, such type of characters appear. The interesting fact is that Arvind Wardle called this drama a pigeonhole drama. This question is sometimes asked, though this drama belongs in comedy of menace category, as has been described by Martin Esslin. So here we have to tell which was given to Stanley. And the right answer of question number 1 is option C. Now here comes question number 2. How does Lord Jim ends? And the options are Jim is shot through the chest by Doraemon. Option B, Jim kills himself with a last unflinching glance. Option C, Jim answers the call of exalted egoism and betrayal jewels. Option D, Jim surrenders himself to Doraemon. So which is the right answer of question number 2? You all know that we are running a question answer series in this channel as per to attend NTNet English. If you are new in this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and share. Please subscribe this channel and help this channel to grow. Now here the right answer of question number 2 is option A. That is Jim is shot through the chest by Doraemon. This is the right answer of question number 2. Now here comes question number 3. Where I lacked a political purpose, I wrote lifeless books. To which of the following authors can we attribute the above admission? And the options are option A, Graham Greene, option B, George Orwell, option C, Charles Morgan, and option D, Evelyn Waugh. So the right answer of question number 3 is option B, that is George Orwell. So George Orwell said the above mentioned line, where I lacked a political purpose, I wrote lifeless books. So this is written by George Orwell. So the right answer of question number 3 is option B, George Orwell. Now question number 4. Modernism has been described as being concerned with disenchantment of our culture with culture itself. Who is the critic? So the quotation is that disenchantment of our culture with culture itself. Who is the critic? And the options are option A, Stephen Spender, option B, Malcolm Bradbury, option C, Lionel Trilling, option D, Joseph Frank. So who is the critic mentioning or speaking disenchantment of our culture with culture itself? We all know that the critic is Lionel Trilling. And so the right answer of question number 4 is option C, that is Lionel Trilling. So Lionel Trilling is the speaker disenchantment of our culture with culture itself. Here comes question number 5 of this session. Only that film which fluttered on the great still flutters there, the soul unquiet things. The above lines are quoted from, and the options are Tintin Abbey Revisited, Michael Frost at Midnight, This Lime Tree Bore My Prison. So these are the options we have to tell. The right answer from where the line has been excerpted. Only that film which flattered on the great still flatters there, the soul unquiet thing. And the right answer of question number 5 is option C, that is Frost at Midnight. From this poem, the above mentioned lines are taken out. In fact, all those works are written by William Wordsworth. Question number 6. Which one of the following modern poems employs ottava rima? And the options are among school children, option B in praise of limestone, option C the wild swans at cool, and option D is the shield of Achilles. And the right answer of question number 6 is option A, among school children. So this poem among school children was written in ottava rima. Here comes question number 7. If you like this session, don't forget to subscribe and share. The question number 7. John Dryden, in his heroic tragedy All for Love, takes the story of Shakespeare's, and the options are Troilus and Cressida, option B the Merchant of Venice, option C Antony and Cleopatra, and option D Measure for Measure. It is an easy question, and the right answer of question number 7 is Antony and Cleopatra. So it was written by Shakespeare, and from this drama, John Dryden took the element for his tragedy All for Love. Now, question number 8. Arrange the following works in the order in which they appear. Identify the correct code. No longer at ease, things fall apart, a man of the people, arrow of God. These are all the works of Chinua Achebe. So we have to arrange them, which one was published first and which one was published later. And now look into the options that are given here, and the option says that 3, 4, 2, 1. Option B says that 4, 3, 1, 2. Option C says that 2, 1, 4, 3. And option D says that 1, 2, 3, 4. And the right answer of question number 7 is option C. Now comes here question number 9. Samuel Pepys kept his diary from, and the options are option A 1660 to 1669, option B 1649 to 1660, option C 1662 to 1689, and option D 1660 to 1689. Samuel Pepys, a famous diarist. In fact, from his diary we came to know a large number of the history of the then time. And the right answer of question number 9 is option A, that is 1660 to 1669. Next question, that is question number 10. In the defense of poetry, what did Sidney attribute to poetry? And the options are a magical power whereby poetry plays tricks on the reader. Option B, a divine power whereby poetry transmits a message from God to the reader. Option C, a moral power whereby poetry encourages the reader to evaluate virtuous models. Option D, a realistic power that cannot be made to seem like mere illusion and trickery. We all know that the defense of poetry, in it we find the opinion of Philip Sidney. So the right answer of question number 10 is option C, a moral power whereby poetry encourages the reader to evaluate virtuous models. So this is the right answer of question number 10, that is option C is the right answer. We have to remember that Philip Sidney gave much more emphasis on the moral power than any kind of magical power or realistic power. Now last question of today's session. Question number 11. An epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot presents portrait of the following contemporary individuals. And the options are Addison and Lord Harvey, option B Dryden and Rochester, option C Swift and Steele, option D Smollett and Defoe. I again just remind you, if you like this session, please don't forget to subscribe and share. And if you have any kind of comment, just leave your opinion in the comment box. And here we have to tell Pope presents which characters in his poem An Epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot. And the right answer of question number 11 is option A, that is Addison and Lord Harvey. So both these characters appear in this poem. So here I end this session. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Thank you.